Hey, welcome back to the Trash Talkers Show. This is week 2. Going into week 2, I'm here with Amy Cooper. I'm Don Fish, as always. Today's show, we got week 1 highlights, special guest stars from around the league, and week 2 pick'ems. But first, what I want to talk about is how I dominated the shit out of the Hoosiers this week. I beat his ass 96-79, and let's talk about the trade. The trade before the draft, Mike traded me Tom Brady so that he could have my number 1 pick. With his number 1 pick, he picked Peyton Manning.
And Brady started off slow.
Brady did start off slow, but he dominated in the fourth quarter comeback with 2 touchdowns to Ben Watson.
Crazy.
That was a great game. Brady ended up scoring 28 points. Mike's first pick, Peyton Manning, ended up scoring 19 points. I won that game 96-79. I dominated you. I own Mike. I think all time, I just want to throw out some stats, Mike has only won 3 out of 8 games with me, which is a 375 batting percentage. Good in baseball, not so good in fantasy football. So, let's head on to the week 1 highlights here.
What about my week 1 game?
Oh, yeah. You want to talk about your week 1 game? What do you got?
Yeah, well, my nemesis is Brian.
Nemesis, chili dogs. You guys talk a lot of smack back and forth?
He isn't very nice about his smack talk.
Ooh.
But, I try to keep it, in a positive level.
And you got the big victory this week.
I did.
You think
by
he's,
a lot.
You think
by,
he's
like,
mad about that?
Yeah. I not only got the most points out of everyone at 141 points, but I also got all my pick'ems correct and all my points on that. So my week 1 started out great, and I'm ready to dominate more.
Well, chili dogs are a lot like the Hoosiers in that they both talk a lot of smack, but they don't necessarily back it up.
No.
I guess some things just never change.
No.
But anyway, since we'll move on to our next segment, a special guest around the leagues. What we have, since all the owners can't be here, we've kind of went and visited them and talked to them, and so we're going to give you our impressions of those owners and what we think that they should say. So, first off, special guest, who am I?
You are Ed Fish, owner of The Rage.
Yeah, Rage! Woo!
So Ed, you talked a lot of trash in last week's show about winning it all this year. And you even taunted other owners by telling them your strategy of starting 2 tight ends each week. Then you went out and got humiliated by the Bandits with a score of 119-58. Still predicting a championship and still starting 2 tight ends, Don? Ed?
First of all, that's Ed Fish, not Don Fish. I am the owner of the Rage, and hell yeah, I'm going to win the championship this year. Last year, look, I went 8-0 before getting beat. I made it to the playoffs last year, and every year, once you make it in the playoffs, you never know what's going to happen in the playoffs. But this year, I'm still going to be the champ. Look, I'm going up against the troops this week. And a lot of people pick that guy to be there in the playoffs. I'm going to dominate that dude. I am the champ. And, Joe, you're gay.
Okay, well, Joe's still gay.
Joe is gay.
And what do we have next?
Next up, let's see. What do we got?
Who am I?
You are Tom Cooper, owner of the Coops Troops. So, Coops Troops, how are you feeling after your performance in Week 1 against the Intimidators?
I feel great. 2009 is my year. Breeze is taking me all the way.
Breeze is dominating this year. What do you have, like 5 touchdowns, 6 touchdowns?
51 points in Week 1 all by himself.
Don't forget that Mike Bell, who rushed for 145 yards with my last-minute pickup. I didn't play him, but Mike Bell.
Well, Don, this is Coops Troops time.
Okay. All right, Coops Troops, do you think you will take over the champ title in 2009 from your daughter who won it last year, owner of the Ass Kickers? Are you going to be in any competition this year? You're out of the division, by the way, so you don't have to actually compete with her until the playoffs. Do you have a chance this year?
Well, that's a tricky question, Don. She's a tough competitor, but I have to give my 100%. I can't, ease up on her just because she's my daughter.
All right, now what about coming up this week? Ed Fish was just here talking a bunch of trash about you, how he's going to dominate you this week. Now, you're up against the Rage this week. Any doubts going into that matchup?
Rage is going down once again. 100% no doubts about it. Rage is going down.
I think Rage is going down too, by the way. I'm hoping he might get there, but I'm doubting it. All right, see you later, Tom.
Later.
Get the hell out of here already. Oh, other way. Who am I?
You are Derek Campbell, owner of the Broadway Bombers.
Bombers, baby!
So you started out the season by dropping Peyton Manning from your squad and making Frank Gore your franchise player.
I like Frank Gore.
Then you chose Steven Jackson with your #1 draft pick, which is a telltale sign of someone that is simply going down a cheat sheet list from a magazine that has been on the shelf since early spring.
I like cheat sheets.
So you lost in week 1 with a score of 90-70 to the AWOLs, which is Joe Watson, who is gay. And shouldn't you stop all the talk and focus on winning this game?
Look, I'm never going to stop all the trash talk. Trash talking is what I do. It's all I got. Obviously, I'm not very good at fantasy football. I'm in 8 leagues, and that's why I'm in 8 leagues. I get to talk a lot of trash, and eventually in one of those leagues, I got to win sometime, don't I? Look, this is called the Trash Talkers League. That's what I do. So I'm not really going to focus on winning. I'm just going to do what I do. You do what you choose. Or what? You do what you do. Whatever the hell that is, but I talk trash. It's what the league's about. That's what I'm going to do. Like I said, I'm in 8 other leagues. So what if I lose? You see my sweet Midwest gang signs earlier in the intro? That's what I'm talking about, baby. Midwest. Broadway Bombers.
Do what you do.
Broadway Bombers. That is a gay name, by the way. All right. Next up.
Okay, who do we have next?
Next on the list. Oh, that's you.
Oh. Who am I?
You are Amy Cooper, owner of the Ass Kickers.
Woohoo!
Do
#1.
Do you think the Ass Kickers will dominate the AWOLs as he did the Chili Dogs in week 1?
You know it. 141 points in week 1. That's all I gotta say, and I'm ready to beat some ass.
Ready to kick some ass. All right, so it seemed like you walked in the league just knowing how to get the job done here. You finished second the first year, and then you took over the championship title last year when you played with us last year. In just your second league or your second year, you won the title. Any pointers for those underdogs struggling like the Chili Dogs, Rage, and Bombers?
Well, you know, it's all about the skills, and a lot of it is God-given talent. But I'd like to tell them to stay focused. You know, only participate in one league, because it's the multiple leagues that kind of screw you up.
That's what I'm saying about Derek. You know, he's participating in 8 leagues, but he's not really focusing in one league. All he's doing is going to the bars every night, setting his lineup on his little cell text thingamajigger.
The karaoke's getting you nowhere, buddy.
The karaoke's good at the bar, not so good at fantasy football.
Not so good at fantasy football. But I mean, I will say that, especially if you lose, you know, don't get too down on yourself, like Rage. And he won't even be on the show anymore because he is a loser.
Ed is scared to show up on the show. All right, well, thanks, Amy. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for dropping by. And
thank you.
Get the hell out of here. Yeah. Well, that's it. Those are our picks. You can see your picks online. And for Amy Cooper, Don Fish, we'll see you losers later.